Well, you know what, for that matter, I think I'm going to use 2 drywall screws. These are number 6 1 1/4, and they're coarse threads. See that? Coarse thread meaning they're big threads. You can also buy drywall screws with fine threads. Did you know that? And it's important that when you go to the hardware store, you look for the ones that you want. Fine threads are for metal, like for sheet metal studs or screws of that sort. Now see, here's my one mounting screw. I'm not going to use that, I don't think. I think I'm just going to use 2 drywall coarse threaded screws. And see, you don't really see a screw like that very often. And if I ever needed to use something and have the finished screw show or something like that, maybe I can use that one. I'm going to put that in my box with all kinds of other coarse threaded screws, and I'm going to save that for another time. Okay, so these are going to be my 2 mounting screws for the new light switch. Okay, enough of that. Let's get on with the project, Joe. Okay, let's pull this out of the wall here, and we'll take a quick look at this before I start undoing everything. You see that it's got 2 side screws on there just like these, and then it's got a ground screw on the other side, and see, there's the ground screw right there. I think you can see that. And yeah, you can twist things whichever way you want. And see, I got plenty of room. I don't have to pull that out of the wall or anything. I don't have to worry about this because that one's staying there. I've got plenty of room there, and that's all there is to it. Now you'll see that the existing wires are screwed onto the side here, and that's probably how I'm going to do this next one. But you also see on the back side, see that? There's 2 holes there. I could push them straight in. If they were straight in from before, I could push them in, or if I wanted to take that off, I could. And you see on there, there's a little square notch right there. If you had wires in there to pull them out, you would just push on that with a little screwdriver, push in there on a spring-loaded goodie, and pull these wires straight out. Kaboom. But they decided not to do that, didn't they? They just used the screws on the side of the box, okay? Or the side of that. And I'm going to do those last. I'm right-handed, so I always like to hang on things with my left hand. And so what do you suppose I'm going to do first? I'm going to do the ground. And see, I can just twist it out here like that. And I'm going to loosen that screw up. And usually you can unscrew that almost all the way, and then you'll feel it kind of back off, kind of tight. And see, it stopped. Now see, I can just pull that off. And on this one here, I can attach it to this screw. And when I flip it up, it's going to be straight up. And you might be wondering, yeah, Joe, but you know, in a standard paddle switch like this, how do you know if that's the top or the bottom? Which way would you install that? Because I always like it where you press on the bottom, that's off. You press at the top, and that's on. And everything in the house should be like that, unless you have a 3-way switch. Sometimes you're going to have one up, and another area you're going to have it down. Okay, but here I want them all down. I don't want to make the assumption, but I can look at this. And usually somewhere along here, you'll see it say top. And you see there, right there, see? It says top. I know that's the top. And there's the ground screw on the left-hand side. The other screws are on that side. That's how that was, right? So no guesswork on that. Okay, so I can just push that out of the way, and I can put that right on there and screw it down. But because this is twisted with the wide opening, what I'm going to do is I'm going to going to kind of pinch it together once I have this on. Now I'm going to look at that, make sure I've got that facing top, which I do. And see, now I can take this and just kind of get that a little bit closer together before I tighten it up. See? Like that. And I got that nice and tight. Sometimes when you flip these around, you could get it loose as you're doing it. I've had it happen to me before once upon a time. Okay, so now I'm just going to twist that up like that. Okay, that's all you've got so far, right? You think you could do this? I think you could. You don't have to be an electrician to do this. You can save yourself some money by doing it yourself. Now here's what I don't want you to miss. This light switch is still working. It's got that long scratch in there. I'm just trying to get that off of there to make it look better, because every time I come in here I know there's a scratch there and I'm like, hey, I've got another light switch. Why not just go ahead and replace it? It's not going to take me very long to do that. But if your paddle switch is not working, or it barely clicks and you think something's off, or you kind of turn it, you can hear it go zzz, zzz, and it still works, you might want to go ahead and replace it, okay? Let's get on to the next step. What is the next step? Well, we're going to undo those 2 screws on that side, okay? Okay, so now I'm just going to push that out of the way. See, now I can take this and I can twist it in my hand sideways, kind of like that. Now, do I know which wire goes up to the ceiling fan, the exhaust fan, or not? No, I don't know which one does. Does it really matter? I don't think it does on a single pole switch. But for the sake of argument, I am just going to make it so that the top is going to go to the top, the bottom's to the bottom. It's all set up that way anyways. It's all nicely done. And you'll notice when I take these off that the loop on the wire always goes around the same way that you're tightening up the screw. Okay. And I'm hoping on this one not to have to take these screws out, but if I do, I could undo these 2 screws all the way and then hold it up there and screw them back in. Okay, if you want. And look at that, these screws are coming out nice and easy, and I think I'm going to just pull them out. Okay, see there? Now sometimes the screws don't come out that easy. And for the sake of argument, I'm going to save this light switch. So I'll put those screws in later. And then I'll put the mounting screws on this one. I'm going to put on this one just so I have it for later as an emergency switch somewhere, or if it's going to be put in a storage room or somewhere underneath a stairwell, something like that. If I don't care where this switch goes, because it had that nice little gouge on there, I can use that somewhere else, can't I? Okay. Now, my top is going to go for the top screw, and the bottom is going to go for the bottom. And I'm just going to undo this a little bit. And see, on new ones, it feels like it's really hard to unscrew, and it is. But if I wanted to just really crank down on those screws, I could get them out. Okay, but I'm not gonna do that. If you notice, that bottom loop is bigger round than the top loop. I don't know if you can see that. See there, that one a little bit bigger than that one. See how that one's kind of crimped down, which tells me it's going to be kind of hard to get it over that screw unless I take this with my little hole here and hold that out there I don't know why I still kind of work with these gingerly, thinking maybe there's power to them, but I checked it and there's no power to it. So I don't know why I'm always kind of working with them kind of easy. Okay, so now I'm gonna kind of put it on this way and then swivel it around, because I don't have much room to get it over on the other side there. See that? How it's twisted and stuff. And so if I have to twist it a little bit, then I can, or I can take that screw off. Okay, I don't really think I have to pull that screw off. Now see, I do that and try to get the tip so I can kind of push that back together. See, like that. And if I can get it a little more, and take my Phillips and tighten that up. Keeping the slack pulled that way with my two fingers here. See? Like that. And you see how this is, whoever put this on, they should have had these straighter, because see how it's going to make it really difficult for me to get this on without tweaking this slightly with that. And that's why I like to undo the screws as far as I can, and then keep this hooking on there like that, and then I can swivel it down into place, keeping the slack out. And I was hoping they would have made the loop a little bit longer so I could grab it easier, but as long as the screw clamps on it, you're okay. Okay, so I'm going to loosen this, pull the slop out like that, and tighten it up. Okay, like that. There we go. Okay, and now I can push those back up, twist this like that. I know it's going to go in there the same way as before with the wires up, back, down. It's kind of like an S or a Z. So when I push it in there, it accordions in and out. You see what I mean? See? We're getting there, aren't we?